What is up? First the floor. I'm Jake Issenberg, here with Sam LaFrance of How About Them Celtics. It's Celtics Late Night, and what a night. It is Celtics up 3-1, kicked the absolute living poop out of the Philadelphia 76ers. Sam LaFrance, how are we?
Doing great. Can't believe I was ever nervous in this series after watching this game today. Celtics just brought it. Really great performances all around. And plain and simple, Sixers are going to Sixer. This is just what they do. Like, what do they do? This is what they do.
This is what they do. Joel Embiid back, and I was before the series, like I kind of talked about how there were some ways that it could make Philly better without him, because their biggest weakness with Joel Embiid is the rebounding. And good Lord, was that on display today. 14-6 offensive rebounds. I want to say that was kind of when the game was over. It was 9-0 in the first half offensive rebounds. And that was kind of the game, it felt like, especially early. Because I do think there's a world where the Sixers keep this close and we have like another version of game 3. And the Sixers were obviously not able to capitalize at all on like the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum struggling in the first half. And we'll obviously get to Peyton Pritchard. But Embiid just massively magnifies that weakness. And the Celtics were dominating the margins. And when you dominate the margins against a team that is significantly inferior, there was just no chance, really.
No, I mean, it's really funny that for whatever reason, the Sixers thought it would be like a good idea for mental edge, whatever they talked themselves into, to do the Embiid return the way they did it, where, I mean, they had me fooled. I thought there was no chance that coming into this series, Embiid would play. I was like, this is just going to be Ben Simmons in 2022. They're going to pretend he's going to come back and pretend it'll never happen. And then you have doubtful to questionable, and I was still like, it's just not going to happen. And then he comes back, and he comes back in a spot for them where they really need to win. This is a borderline, it probably must win game.
I'd say
And like, you're going to throw him in the deep end. This is a guy that's like always kind of lumbering around out there, not like known for his conditioning and durability. And you're going to be like, all right, like, really need you to show up in game 4. Good luck. Haven't played in a couple weeks, just had surgery. And oh, by the way, everybody else, you guys got to deal with this guy who you've played with for 38 games this season, and he changes everything about the way you have to play offense. Maxi's going to take shots away from you, and you guys are going to have to play slow so he can get down the court and post up and try his best to get to the line.
Yeah, so, early in the game, he was doing his Embiid thing. Got a couple jumpers. Got Queta into foul trouble again. But yeah, that's a good point. Like, one thing that definitely happens with Embiid out there is taking shots away from Tyrese Maxey. And I thought the Celtics defense in general was really fucking good tonight and had Tyrese Maxey in hell. His stat line's definitely better than I remember. I think a lot of that may have come when the game was out of reach. 22 points on 7 for 14, shooting 4 for 7 from 3. Because I know that in the first half, he only had 3 shots. He made 2 out of 3. So that's good. But I think that just speaks to, one, the fact that Embiid changes things for the Sixers. And 2, the Celtics defense was outrageous. And I think a lot of people were responsible for the defense on Tyrese Maxey and defense in general. But Jordan Walsh at the back end of game 3 was like, do we start Jordan Walsh? Because I thought that he played that well defensively and was like team high plus 18 in game 3. He was a machine, and he was a catalyst. Like, obviously Peyton Pritchard, we've gone too long without talking about him. We will get to him. But that group that came on and was just an energy tornado, Walsh was right at the middle of it, and it was a blend of locking up Maxey, getting on both the offensive, defensive glass, deflections. He continues to be very impactful. He did hit a 3 without scoring any points there.
What was it? The after the whistle make?
He did make a three. There's one in the box score, which I barely remember.
So how did he not score any points? Am I missing something?
Like he's being that impactful with I should say.
Gotcha.
In game 3, and he had 3 tonight, right? But he's been fantastic in both.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the wall stretches in this game. Like he made Maxey uncomfortable when he was put on him. But you mentioned it, like the back end of the first quarter, this game was looking weird, right? Only centers scored for both teams up until the first TV timeout. Then Pritchard comes in, Walsh comes in, Shireman gets some minutes, and Vooch also played well to his credit in his first stint. And then all of a sudden, they're lighting up the Sixers. They're getting all of the offensive rebounds and really capitalizing on those second chances. Like, if there was any indication that they were taking this seriously, coming to play locked in, it was their attention to the offensive glass, the willingness to get in the nitty gritty and just make it easier for themselves to put the ball in the basket, even if their shots weren't falling right away. And then they started to fall and they started to make everything. Peyton Pritchard caught fire. He had 18 points in the first half, and the Sixers had no answer for him. To me, the biggest stretch in this game was the back end of the third quarter, the last 7 minutes and 25 seconds. The Sixers missed 3 shots. Like Embiid, Maxey, Paul George, all just were making everything magnet ball to the upteenth degree. The Celtics matched it. Pritchard had 14 points in that stretch. The Jays and him combined for all 26, and they won the quarter by 3. They got to the free throw line 8 times during that span. And more than anything, like they didn't get sped up. They didn't get nervous. They didn't get frustrated. They remained poised. And like when you think about the playoffs and how things went, just think about the first 2 games against the Knicks last year when things didn't go their way defensively and New York started to score. There was a lot of tension. There was a lot of forced shots. Like how many times in the third quarter did you say, man, they were lucky that one went in? Like they took it upon themselves to put pressure on Philly's defense and get to the free throw line. And to me, that was just such a huge step up. And Pritchard is a huge part of that. Like I've said it to you before. I've said it to Jack on How About Them Celtics. Having Pritchard as a real third option, as somebody who can create for everybody, not just himself. In this game, he had 5 assists to go along with his 32 points, is so valuable. Because if you're going to game plan for Jalen and Jason, which the Sixers did in this game, neither one of those guys was great in the first half. Pritchard was the one that lifted them up along with the other bench guys who played so well. And it won them the game. They never let go of the rope, but they grabbed the rope because of Pritchard.
Yeah, the third quarter stretch was a little bit the playoffs are crazy, man. Like you go into the half up 18 and no one feels good. Like you obviously like you feel down 3. Feels like you're down 7. The playoffs are such a mental warfare experience on the minds and the emotions and the spirituality of fans. It just never feels like it's over until it's like over. And the Sixers did come out in that third quarter. They were nuclear. They had 36 points, 5 for 9 from 3, 52% from the field, 7 for 7 from the line, only 1 turnover. But the Celtics went even more nuclear, and it was all Jalen, Jason, and Pritchard. They only 3 guys who scored, 13 for Tatum, 12 for Jalen, 14 for Pritchard. It's like, and I really hope this is the beginning of Peyton Pritchard bringing his regular season self into the playoffs because, and our number one Peyton Pritchard stan, whose claim to fame is that he thought that thought that Peyton Pritchard would be an all-star before Noah Dalzell thought that he would be an all-star. So shout out to Rivens, who will never let me forget about the 1 week that I said that Peyton Pritchard was not good because he wasn't good after wanting to be traded in that little period there. But going back to early in Pritchard's career, when it was summer league, whether it was the last few games of the regular season where he would come out and be pro MP, and then he started to take those performances into the regular season, but mostly against like the not best teams in the league. This is easily the best game of Peyton Pritchard's career, given like the playoffs. He had some moments in the 2024 playoff run, hitting some big shots against the Cavs, but like 32 points, 6 for 12 from 3, and he was 5 for 10 from 3 in game 3 as well. the game 2 performance where he had 6 field goal attempts, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Because this is the type of guy that he is when teams play defensively against Tatum the way that they do to load up on both the Jays. You need to be aggressive, especially when you have the capability to be one of the most explosive flamethrowers in the entire league. I hate when he's hesitant. Go out there, 12 threes. There's no bad shot for Peyton Pritchard for me.
No, especially when he can like literally change a game. I mean, I did watch the end of game 3 live, but I didn't get to watch the entire game. And I saw the grenade live. It was crazy. A guy that you can give the ball to in that situation and trust that he's going to do the right thing with it is so valuable. He's making like next to no money for what he's worth. And having him out there next to the Jays, especially considering how unreliable some of the other tertiary scorers have been for Boston, like Derrick White was much better today than he was in game 3. And he had moments of excellence in other ways in game 3. And he was great defensively today too. Not being able to cash threes the way that we have all grown accustomed to him cashing threes since he joined the team a couple years ago. Having Pritchard here is just a needle mover. Like, I can't stress enough how much more confident you should feel in this Celtics team having an elite level one-on-one off the dribble scorer compared to like having to just depend on, I hope somebody gets hot from 3 today. Like, he can give you both. He can give you the catch and shoot threes, which is how he got going in this game. But once he got going, once he got confidence, he was able to just tear the Sixers apart, and he was huge, getting everything, just keeping it afloat in the third quarter, going band for band with Maxey and Embiid as those guys couldn't miss. That's just so valuable. And man, thinking about like just a little bit ahead, thinking about playing against the Knicks and everything. I know Jay Bone is saying, worried he can't score against the Knicks. Pritchard hasn't been great against the Knicks this year. He was much better in the final game, which should make you feel a little bit better. But like, just having all 3 of these guys firing at all cylinders is, I wouldn't say like unicorn level, as a fool of a took says in the chat, but it's, can you really feel like all of them are going to be off on the same day? Like, you got to have at least one of them, right? Like, you're going to have a chance in just about every game. Even game 2 where they couldn't make anything and Pritchard was 2 of 6. They were within 2 in the fourth quarter. So, man, the scoring on this team is elite. Shout out to Pritchard.
Yeah, there was a ton of moments late in especially in that Knicks game. Like, you don't have Jaylen Brown. Like, to your point about, are all 3 of those guys going to be off? Well, you didn't even have that guy. And, you knew in the first half, Jaylen and Jason did not have good first halves. And the Pritchard and the bench not only kept them in it, but built them a huge lead. You knew that Jaylen or Jason were going to be great in the second half, and they were both great in the second half. When all 3 of these guys are going, it's just a shot creation when the best defender is going to be on Jaylen and Jason. Paul George, who I think has been the best Sixer in this series consistently because of what he's giving them defensively. I think defensively he's been really fucking good guarding Jaylen and Jason.
He's been much better than I thought, like, at anything.
Same. Consistently hitting tough shots, like, been really efficient. He's been their best player, I thought. But when he's on a Jaylen or Jason, Pritchard's going to get the chance to attack a Boner or a Drummond or an Embiid or a Maxey or whoever the 3rd, 4th, 5th best defender is. That's the guys that he's going to get to attack, and he has to win. And this whole we'll do a proper shot and for it because I've got a very special clip to run towards the end here from the Ricky pod earlier today. But we'll sprinkle some extra.
That's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I was like, is Ricky like Aussie slang for like StreamYard or like like, I was like, I know he's probably pumped to talk about the game, but I don't know about Ricky.
The Rights to Ricky Sanchez pod. Always my first stop after a big Celtics win against the Sixers. But if you go to Twitter, and I'll try and zoom in on here, and you search I hate Peyton Pritchard and go to latest, it's really fun. And the best one I've bookmarked here, I hate Peyton Pritchard more than I hate Larry Bird, Paul Pierce, and Bin Laden combined. Peyton Pritchard, I fucking hate you. Getting Peyton Pritchard magnet balls in Embiid's return, I fucking hate the Celtics. stop leaving the fucking leprechaun open, and then quote tweeted, I hate Peyton Pritchard so goddamn much. Holy shit, I hate Peyton Pritchard. I'm not gonna read that one on the screen.
It's a couple we shouldn't say.
A couple of that I will not be saying. But yeah, so that's a beautiful, beautiful search on the Twitter machine if you were so inclined. But he was ridiculous, man. And I just hope that this is the beginning of him, because I know he has the confidence and has the ability, but there's a big difference between doing what he did in games 81, 82, preseason, summer league, regular season against Doc Rivers and the Bucks, to doing it in the playoffs consistently. That's the final level for Peyton Pritchard. And if he is able to do this, then I think that is like a factor that can tip the Celtics into actually being the team that reflects the betting odds. Because right now they're the comfortable favorites in the Eastern Conference. And if he's going to play like this, that makes me feel really confident about that.
Yeah, I just, we can't stress enough how important this is. Like it sounds dumb, but like Pritchard is like a level above like your average offensive role player. And it's not like in the sense that he's like your traditional sixth man that is just out there to score. Like every time he is asked about what was it like being in the zone? What was this like? How did you know you had it today? He's always like, I don't play that way. I just take what's given to me. If they're sending extra help, I'm going to make the right pass. And if you watch the tape, it's absolutely true. He's not lying to you. He is just out there playing quarterback. If the holes are there for him to go, he's going to go and he's going to just fire that bitch and it's going to go in. And with that, it is a superpower for Boston. He's not a defensive liability, at least not as much as every other 6-foot guard in the NBA for the most part. Like, bias, would you rather have him or Brunson? Seriously. Probably Pritchard, right? Like we've seen him stonewall Paul George in this series. When George is like, all right, I'm 6'8", I'm strong. I just did my steroids. I'm back now. And I'm going to try and back you down. And Pritchard just is like, nope, not going anywhere. It's like the old meme of Cat trying to back down Boogie Cousins. And he is going to give you 110% of his effort at all times. It doesn't matter if he feels like he needs to carry the burden on offense. He's going to bring it on defense. He doesn't care if he's getting tired. And he just has that fuck you competitor in him too. Like he's obviously friendly with Reggie Miller, and like that's why he's yelling at the camera. But he is still fired up, and like you saw him after he hit the grenade in Game 3, screaming at the crowd. Like he's got it. He's really willing to rip your throat out.
Hey, I remember when we drafted him and watching the Oregon highlights, like game winners, state championships. Like this dude is that guy. This is the only way a guy of this size and athleticism can be here right now is to be a complete psychopath. We've all seen the ball handling drills, the stories about making his hands bleed with putting so much work in to those ball handling drills. It's not a mistake. Shout out my dad, Michael Issenberg, was in the building for Game 4. All of his threes were 5 feet beyond the arc. He was giving the Discord the like 7 to 10 second jump on some of the challenge calls, which was very much appreciated. So maybe because I think now Dad, at least in my era of Celtics watching, moves to, I want to say 6-1 or 7-1, and the only game that he's lost was I was with him for Game 2 most recently. So maybe the Michael Issenberg bump is actually the powerful one and not the Jake Issenberg bump. But got a picture with Dr. J before the game, and I'm assuming told him that Celtics in 5.
But Larry kicked his ass back in the day.
Yeah, UMass legend. Yeah, Larry owns you. Larry better.
Shout out to your dad. Got his lick back. He just went in there and snatched the chain right off Franklin the dog's neck.
That's right. He went out there, spat on the Liberty Bell. It was beautiful.
I hate the Liberty Bell.
It is like a pretty underwhelming moment every time. I think they sent out the first round pick for the Sixers in Game 3.
Oh, and Makai Lemon. Yeah.
And every swing feels like such a dainty swing. Like it's not like a gong or like the Carolina Panthers drum where you're like really banging it. It's Mom's 4-0. maybe it's a mom, Elizabeth Issenberg. It could be. Regardless, we're on track for a lot of W's as a family here. But Peyton Pritchard, incredible. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum rallied into the second half here. Tatum got away with it. 30 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds. 5 turnovers, but I want to say at least 2 were offensive fouls. They were calling Jaylen and Jason tight on the off arms today. But Tatum now is averaging 25 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists on hyper efficient, like 64% true shooting, playing 37 minutes a game. And like the big stat from game 3 was the fact that he played 42 and a half minutes. The Achilles just, it's like the Monty Python, but a flesh wound. The dude is back to playing like, I don't want to say all the way there, but man, Dante DiVincenzo should be watching all of the Jason Tatum film right now because this guy has just not let that injury affect him whatsoever.
No, and he just sees those fucking colors, and he's just gonna he's just gonna hoop. The closing of game 3, the way that he, aided that response in the third quarter today, and then just lit it up like for fun in the fourth. He owns this team. Like if I the clip I posted the other day of the Sixers fan on the podcast being like, I hate Jason Tatum.
It's the best.
I feel like all of them have to hate him. Like if you're a Sixers fan, you don't hate Jason Tatum, you're doing it wrong. You should hate him because every time he has the opportunity, just steps on the franchise. Like this of all like the playoff series is probably the least disappointing. If you're Philly, like you didn't really expect to win this series, right? Like,
wow.
I mean, the first one in 2018 is bad. They were favorites to beat Boston.
Yeah.
The bubble, they were a low seed. Ben Simmons was hurt, but that season itself had a lot of expectations. So I feel like it still stings a lot. And then in 2023, they blow the
no, that's the worst one. That's the worst one because they were up
50 in game 7.
Yeah, they were up 2-1 and 3-2 in that series.
And 1-0. As Greeny said, you got to win 2 in a row. That was cracking me up today. I was out for my walk listening to you guys after game 3 because I want to make sure I was up to speed on game 3 because I didn't see all of it. And Greeny was just like, you win 2 games in a row in the playoffs, like you're gonna win the series.
It's dumb, buddy.
They have for us, Greeny.
But no, you got to be the first team to win 2 in a row.
Correct.
That's the key.
Celtics have done it. The Hawks have also done it.
People laughed at Bill Simmons when he said all you got to do is go 4-3, and it's ridiculous. But you go and watch the playoffs, and it's like, well, shit. The Raptors only have to go 2-1 now.
Yeah.
Why can't they?
Oh man. Speaking of, like, that game was a rock fight today. Sorry for the people that are really like tuned in on the Celtics-Sixers and that's all they care about. That game, rock fight. Like my girlfriend was watching with me, and she's like, "Why are they not making any baskets?" But it all ties back to this game because at halftime, the Sixers were just on pace to be losing to both of those teams.
Yeah.
Like that is how bad. I cannot stress enough. Embiid, thank you for putting this on the screen. Like, I cannot believe that they thought that was going to go well for them. He takes everything that was good for them away. They have to play slow. They can't play good defense. Their defense was so pathetic today that they had to go to a zone in the second half that was not even like having a prayer of working.
So much worse.
He's just out there. He was out there to get the crowd pop. That was it.
Yeah. And before the series, I was like, I think bringing him back is completely unfair. And maybe on the other hand, it's like, well, you may as well. You can't win without him, so you may as well try. But this just makes him look worse. It makes the team look worse. It makes the organization look worse.
His playoff record against Boston just gets worse and worse and worse. Why would you humiliate him like that?
They're 2-2 in the Embiid era without Embiid, and they're like 3-14 with him. Because
he's just out there to be in the background of like Celtic celebration pictures, as Greeny posted the tweet with like just everybody, and he's just sulking in the back.
It's rough. It's brutal, and like back to Tatum and how the city of Philadelphia hates him. I think before we move past that, we'll just get this out of the way. We've got to get the shot in front of us first.
Sarah, I cannot believe.
Incredible work from Ben Vallis. It's been a while since we've actually watched the Schadenfreude report. So if you don't know the Rice to Ricky Sanchez podcast, honestly, this podcast is kind of created in their image to a degree. Fans of the team, love hoops, not necessarily trying to be too serious, have a good time watching the team. But like anytime the Celtics and Sixers play and the Celtics win, this is my first stop. And as Sam, if you haven't seen that clip that Sam alluded to earlier, there is a Sixers fan that calls into, I want to say the Micah Parsons pod. Is it?
I'm not sure whose podcast it is. It is called the Crash Dummies pod.
Crash Dummies pod. But this guy just calls in about how much he just fucking hates Jason Tatum and how he was the first one to realize that LMA was dating Jason Tatum out of anybody, and that's been his celebrity crush, and he hates handsome dudes. And anyway, it's beautiful. Go to Sam's Twitter to find it. But this pod today provided another nugget of Schadenfreude gold.
Tatum hit a bunch. I really fucking hate Tatum. It's unbelievable how much I hate this guy. And that is not to say that we made the right decision with the pick swap trade with Fultz. It's just
Good. I'm glad you're saying that.
Independent of that, I hate him. I hate watching him. I hate everything about him. I really loathe the presence of this man on my television.
Really?
Maybe one of my most hated players of all time, I think.
Really?
I really do. Just the fucking normalness of his game, of everything about him. I just and that offends me on such a massive level. It's not to say he's not good. Obviously, he's very good. I just hate him. I hate the fucking guy. And this is an emotional, being emotional about this podcast. Fuck him. I hate him.
Is the thing on his nose like a prop?
Is
he meant to look like he just got in a car accident like on purpose, or is he actually going through it?
I don't know exactly, but the eye mask thing was originally like a Batman mask earlier in the show as well. So there is some degree of props being used here, but I like that he mentioned the Fultz Tatum thing because the error just goes so deep. It's not just the simple fact that we've beaten them like belt to ass this will be the fifth playoff series win, fourth playoff series win in this era. There's which is like 50% of the years that the Jays have been playing. Obviously, you have the Fultz over the Tatum pick. You have the previous year, which they take Ben Simmons over Jaylen Brown, where Jaylen Brown's now become the best guy in that draft class, which shout out to Jaylen Brown. Mm-hmm. You have the Al Horford Insurgent Project, which we send Al Horford to Philly, which like ruins the team for multiple seasons. And then he comes back and wins a title with the Celtics. Like it just goes, that's a good point. Maybe he's smashing his head against the wall from watching the Sixers play against the Boston Celtics. But yeah, it goes well beyond the simple fact that the Celtics keep beating these guys. There's all these very Malcolm Brogdon. What happened with that? Was there like he didn't get drafted by them. But yeah, there's so many different ways that it's just the knife being twisted while playing against these guys, which is great because it is one of the more historic rivalries.
Are they involved in Pritchard being here?
I don't think so. It was the Grant Williams-Thibault thing. There was I thought, or maybe.
Yeah, I think Maxey was like, I'm going to look at this. I'm probably going to find nothing. Don't worry about it. But we're going to see.
But yeah, so yeah, and they talked about the push-offs with Jalen, Jason, and Pritchard, which they have a point. Jalen, Jason, and Pritchard are pushing off on every possession, and they get called for it quite a lot. So, the Drew Holiday trade was the beginning of the process as well. Well done, Troy in the chat, who helped us win a title, who, by the way, has been fucking unbelievable for the Blazers in this playoffs. Didn't help them win today or yesterday.
What's happening with the Blazers? They just I watched the game for a little bit and then I put the game back on and they're just down by 1 billion.
The Spurs are really good. Would my take on it. And like they've got an elite defense. Like their best offensive player is True.
Yeah,
so that's kind of your answer to that question. But yeah, so Tatum now averaging 25, 9 and 5, 9 on elite shooting, basically back to pre-form. Jaylen Brown's averaging 27 a game on 60% true shooting. Hasn't felt like the best Jaylen Brown series, but you have the really good stretch of game 2 down in the fourth quarter. Second half, he was excellent. And honestly, in game 2 that they lost, I thought the Jays were actually quite good. It was the Derricks and the Pritchards and the everybody else's that didn't help them out. And I think he had like 36 on pretty good efficiency and tried to bring them back. But he missed a few free throws early in this one as well. But I thought overall, the fact that the Jays are just doing the Jays thing at the moment. And I saw Noah in the postgame ask Jaylen Brown, because there was a clip after game 3. And Jaylen and Jason are standing there. It's like one of the last possessions. And Jaylen's like next to Tatum. And he says, take a deep breath. I got George. And they like fucking go and win the game. And Noah confirmed if those lip readings were correct. And I just love those guys. And it turns out they can't play together.
Clip rocked. I was at a wedding, didn't see the game, and I was just like getting the dopamine hits as every time I like went to the bathroom to go on Twitter or whatever. And seeing that one just had me like, man, like we're all so lucky around here. I thought Jaylen was actually exceptional in the first couple games. What did he end up with? They both had 25 on Friday, right? So
yeah,
this was his first off game, like where he and Jason were not good in the first half, and he never quite turned up. Like he made some big shots in the third quarter stretch there, but like he in this series, even down the stretch of game 3, made a big one. I know Greeny pointed out like it was a similar look to
game 4 shot.
Yeah, the one in Dallas where he just was like, boom, we're here, we're icing the game. I think Jaylen's on that same wavelength as Pritchard, where he is also taking a step forward as a get a bucket guy. And you didn't get it today, but at the point of the game where it could have came off the rails, he was there to kind of make sure it didn't. And that was enough. And if that's all you need from him, like 1 or 2, like let's buckle down. And also he got 4 free throws in that stretch too. Like he's done a great job of kind of enforcing his will, even though he missed 4 of them today. And I think the poise and growth that we've seen from Jaylen and the reps he got as just seeing all of the attention for the first 60 games of the season could go a long way as these playoffs go on too.
Yep. Man, healthy Jaylen Brown. It's good to have this guy in the playoffs. That's for sure. Ben Vallis in the chat, our fearless leader here at First to the Floor. They transcend friendship more like a wildly and repeatedly successful duo of entrepreneurs. I like it. They're fucking good at basketball. That does remind me, there's a lot of you in here tonight. So please like the stream. Helps us fight the algorithm overlords. Makes sense. Celtics win big against Philadelphia 76ers. Everybody wants the good times. We're going to keep the good times rolling here. Nemia Queta in foul trouble again. Like immediately.
Not his fault.
Yeah, it was
not his fault. I thought he got hoed in this one. The first play of the game where Embiid just kind of like threw his shoulder into him and went up and they gave him the foul call. I was like, I mean, this is how it's going to go for Nemi, who Jack, Nick, and I were on the pregame today, and we had just learned of the Embiid return, and I was like, well, this is bad for Nemi. Nemi, who has just like been in free throw parole the entire series. He's got an ankle monitor on because he's just under watch, and Embiid comes in, bumps him, and then just decides to run past him and dive forward on the second offensive possession. And before you knew it, Vooch was in the game.
Yeah. So the first foul trouble, I can grant him bail. The second foul trouble, where he picked up his third, where it was Sixers got a rebound and he like tried to go for it. What are we doing? That was one of the dumbest things I've seen all playoffs.
That's the thing. He has a couple dumb ones a game.
This where you just take that one out.
Like there was the one in I think it was game 1 that Maxey was going to the basket and he just like tapped him on the back and let him get an and one. And it's like, you're in foul trouble, dude. Like if you're gonna foul him, make it count. Like, don't let him get the basket. Don't do something dumb. Like, at least make the foul have prevented something. Make the foul have taken points off the board. Make it like worth the time you're gonna have to sit on the bench.
Yeah, crack him. Or just don't do it. Would be my first suggestion. Is don't commit that third foul. Because when he was in the game, I thought he was really good. And then when he did actually get that little stretch in the second half and in the third, so he played 6 minutes in the first half, like disaster, and 11 in the second half. And he was a team high plus 15 in the second half. He grabbed 7 rebounds in his 11 minutes in the second half and committed 2 fouls, of course. But defensively, protecting the rim on both Maxey and Embiid, everyone, cleaning the glass, 2 offensive rebounds. He has been, when he's been on the court, he's been really good. Even in the first half when the game started, he had 6 of their first points. Like, the Sixers defense has been better than I thought, but when Nemi's been out there, Tatum's done a really good job of finding him on those roles because he actually has some gravity to him and is able to kind of go get some passes, whereas Vooch just really isn't kind of creating the same havoc on these screen and rolls, despite having some really nice moments in those actions as well. When he's been on the court, especially tonight, I thought Queta has been good. Just please stop with the fouling, because this was not a problem all year long. I don't remember him being in foul trouble at all.
No, that was one of the big developments. It was like This guy used to always be in foul trouble. He would play short stints. He'd pick up 3 quick fouls, and he really improved his discipline, and it allowed him to be impactful all season long. I will say, to his credit, in the game where he was largely restricted due to foul trouble, almost having a double-double with a block on perfect shooting is pretty good. And also, Nemi has shown an incredible aggression to try and dunk the ball in the playoffs so far. He's got to have at least 5 dunks through these 4 games. He had 2 today. He's not afraid to just sky through the lane and just dunk, challenge you to try and block him. And I think that's a new thing we're seeing from him. I don't remember a ton of those through traffic dunks. He did a lot of push shots, and he improved his touch, to his credit, on those too. But yeah, I think I'm slightly worried about this because he was one of the pillars that this overachievement of a season was built on, and he was in the most improved. He finished 4th in the voting, I think you guys said the other day.
4th or 6th, I forget.
To have him regress into some of the habits that plagued him in seasons past, where he wasn't able to get a rhythm because he wasn't playing consistently, and when he did play consistently, you could see that the rust was there, the lack of positioning was there, the lack of feel for the game as a non-rotation guy was there. And I wouldn't say it's entirely completely regressed, but foul trouble is a real thing. I think today he gets a little bit of a pass because of the Embiid tax, but the dumb ones are there, and those are the ones that need to go. It was a great point by you.
Yeah.
If Embiid has the rebounds, you don't need to slap at him.
Nope.
When has that ever worked? I feel like, has a big man ever knocked away the ball from someone else when they get a rebound? It's always a guard that runs in, does a 180 sprint, sneaks up behind them Alvarado style, and steals the ball. That's who does it. It's not going to ever be Nemi. You will never knock the ball away, and if you do, the guy's just going to fall.
So the reason I'm laughing is I was watching another playoff game with my wife, Lucy. It was a Timberwolves game, and someone had a backcourt steal, and she was like, "Oh, I love when guys like Pedro get those backcourt steals." And I'm like, "Who's Pedro?" It's Jose Alvarado is who she thought that was in her brain.
Has there ever been an NBA Pedro?
I don't think so. I don't think so, but that's why I love watching the game with her, because I get a fresh perspective, and if it's a Celtics game, it actually takes the stress away, because things like that make it an enjoyable experience.
Pedro Bradshaw is the only ever NBA not even he signed an Exhibit 10 with the Pacers in 2023. If you type Pedro into Basketball Reference, he's the only person that comes up.
There's been a few Pedros played baseball.
Yeah, great Pedro.
Great
Shout
Pedro.
Pedro Martinez.
One of the best. Yeah, the king, the goat. Queta in his minutes was good. 17 minutes, not enough. Thank God Brad Stevens traded for Nikola Vucevic. I think that's just an objectively good trade now because you just don't need Anthony Simons when you've got Jalen, Jason, Pritchard, Derrick, even Shyman to a degree when it comes to creation. It'd be nice to have Simons as well on this team. You needed a third big man for this exact reason, whether it was an injury or foul trouble. And Vooch has come in and been like good, defensively solid enough. This is like almost kind of an expectations thing, but he's been totally fine in his minutes so far. He missed his threes today. It kind of feels like he flipped the coin on whether he has a good shooting night or not. But he gave you a couple of points. He had a couple of really nice passes in the short roll. Like that's part of his game that does pop and it does get the ball moving. Had a really nice short roll pass to Pritchard in the corner closest to us in the first half and was part of that big run. And Gaza was solid in his 11 minutes, but it's just like the dude doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss.
But yeah, you need all three. I like having the different punches. Like Joe, when Drummond came in, was like, bang, hit the Gaza button. And that went pretty well. By the way, if I had to blind guess, how many minutes do you think Andre Drummond played today?
I think Drummond played like 15 minutes. He got smoked injury-wise. Like it was his hip or like the side, like an area of your body that typically does not get injured was what bothered him. He set a screen on somebody in his first stint and he got banged up and then it re-aggravated on a box out with Hauser as they showed in the replay.
5 minutes and 6 seconds is the actual answer.
Close. I added a 1.
Yeah, he tripled it. Or divided it by 3. So that felt like the longest 5 minutes ever. When he was out there, he was a -6. It felt so much worse than that. And at the time, I'm like, thank God he's gone with Drummond over Boner. It didn't really matter in the end because Boner played 4.5. Like, I don't think those 5 extra minutes of Boner minutes would have changed the Sixers' life. If you had taken 10 minutes away from Embiid, maybe, and replaced them with 10 more Boner minutes, I think that could have helped. But the one Drummond corner 3 didn't go in today, which was really great to see. You know what? They contested it this time though. They like kind of treated him as if he could shoot, as opposed to the previous.
Garza.
Gaza. So the big man rotation did enough, and I there's a lot of Vooch detractors because I tweeted out yesterday Vooch has been essential. And there were still people that were like, no, he sucked. I'm like,
your Discord hates them.
Everybody hates him, too. There's so many.
If haters. I go in the Discord right now and just put Vooch ? I bet they're gonna be like, fuck that guy, he sucks. I'm doing it. But I agree with you. I think Vooch is. I mean, I caught pieces of game 3, and I had Jack send me some updates. Vooch seemed essential. Like he was a saving grace guy in that game. And when Nemi got in foul trouble today, there was a patience, there was a calmness, there was an ability to crash the glass. He had 3 blocks in game 3, which was crazy. Yeah. And I truly feel like we're reaping the awards of this trade, where it's like, okay, this is a guy who's been in the NBA for 15 years now. And he knows it. He can get himself into the right mindset. He can make the right plays. He's just sharp to what the game needs. And you saw that at moments in the clutch in game 3. He was out there closing the game. He had the pass fake that led to the Tatum pump fake 3 that went in. That was a big one. Like the fact that he can fit in and do this, having missed a month with the finger injury, having missed a month of shooting practice and getting his touch back, and having to integrate into a new team, and the lights are somewhat bright. I guess they kind of get dull in Philadelphia a little bit, but it's impressive. And it feels like, if he hasn't already, like it's tough to say in the first round, but it feels like he is going to have a signature moment or 2 if this playoff run really ends up being something special. Yeah. And they've been better with him on the court than off so far. They have an 11.7 net rating with him on the court. Part of that is like somewhat shooting. Like when Vooch is on the court, the Celtics are shooting 39% from 3. With him off, they're shooting 32.7. So there's a little bit of like shooting variance stuff, and that's somewhat similar for defense. So there's a little bit going on from that perspective. But even when you adjust for that,
they're still a plus 5.2 with Vooch on the court. And like, that's a fucking win. Now, part of this is we're playing the Sixers. I do think that this proposition maybe gets a little more difficult once you move into a Knicks series. But
we're Hawks.
Oh, fuck, I keep forgetting. That's a real possibility, obviously. 2-2.
No, the Hawks won 2 in a row first. We're monitoring.
I'm very excited. How nice is it to be able to enjoy that now? Because you went up 2-1. I was able to enjoy the Knicks and the Pistons losing again. And now I can fully enjoy the hate watch. Because not being able to fully enjoy the hate watch of the Knicks was very rude of the Celtics. Yeah.
I was on my walk on Friday. Like I went for like a 2-hour walk before this. I keep talking about this wedding. I'm sorry, no one cares about this.
No, please. How was it?
It was long in the NBA playoffs. But ultimately, I was happy to see the couple enjoy themselves. They had a good time. I was out for this 2-hour walk. I listened to the Simmons pod. I listened to Carmelo Anthony on Pardon My Take. Like I got my NBA fix. But I was just sitting there thinking about the Knicks game because Simmons was talking about it with Sean Fennessy, and they were breaking it down. I was just like, oh man, like the Celtics gonna lose today? Like, and I went on my little sportsbook app and put a future on the Sixers series because I was like, I just can't get got by this. I have to come out of here with something if this crashes and burns.
Oh yeah, I was an early investor in Celtics insurance today.
Me too. I took it at like plus 500. I was just like, we're gonna get in.
Get in because it can go south quick. But the other part's also true because like in Australia, once it gets past like a 25-point lead, often they just shut the betting off. So another donation to the wonderful people at the gambling companies today. They're very welcome. Last thing, it's been very not really much else to say. I mean, Derrick White, 2 for 4 from 3, 6 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Maybe the play of the game, the chase down block on Tyrese Maxey. Nobody does that to Tyrese Maxey. That was an insane play. And I felt like it kind of sparked. That was in the second quarter, I want to say. So I can find it here. And we're like, as I said to start the pod, the Sixers had a chance, it felt like, to turn this game into a similar game of game 3 and at least give themselves a chance to make it a game. Yeah. Okay. It was earlier in the third quarter.
It was one of their 2 misses the entire quarter.
Yes. So 63-43. Derek Cousins gets it. Unbelievable play. And now, in hindsight, is it kind of ridiculous to say that sparked anything or did anything because they were already up 20? Maybe not. But that was the beginning of like the first few minutes they were going back and forth. And then that led to the Celtics going up by like 26 as opposed to 20, just giving themselves that extra bit of wiggle room. And it was just good to see him go 2 for 4 from 3 because the first one was way off. And then he made 2.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps.
I thought we were in for just another day of just in the gulag with Derrick's 3-point shooting. But, if it has to be at a low volume at first to kind of get it reset a little bit, that's fine. Yeah. I was impressed with the way that I think this goes to say for game 3 too, where he found ways to impact this game without necessarily having to have a great scoring night. The block, the one on Embiid, I actually felt like was pretty huge too, because the Celtics in their own right had just smoked a fast break. Jalen elected to go up instead of making the pass to the open man on the other side of the lane. And then Derrick busts his ass to get back, blocks an Embiid layup off the glass, which might have been, some ignition for the crowd as they get behind the guy that they probably hate and are so sick and tired of watching their team pay a Supermax contract to. This is huge. Look how far he treks. This is an awesome effort play. Dude. And then to get the same thing on Maxey, in hindsight, I think the one on Maxey is even more impressive with the circumstances, knowing that the Sixers are just not going to miss any more shots in that quarter. Like, you prevented it from getting going a lot earlier. You gave yourself an extra chance to just destroy any spark. And again, there, even as bad as Derrick has shot, especially in those first 3 games, there's never any legit what does he do stuff. Like you are always. I mean, Joe Mazzulla thinks you're a loser if you're calling him what does he do. You hate winning.
Tough. And he's objectively right. Because something that when I was going back and watched the some of the highlights from game 3, because everyone is going to remember the big offensive rebound that led to the Tatum dagger, which led to one of the moments of the season. Here we go. I thought this was going to happen.
Oh no, what happened?
I do this thing where I forget to charge my camera, and then I try and charge it too late, and now I'm back in poor man's camera town. But what was his name? Derrick White was doing something.
Derrick
great.
White. You were talking about the first offensive rebound, the big one.
Oh yeah,
the
Jaylen Brown, the game that there was a mirror image of the game 3 in the NBA Finals one, also came off a Derrick White offensive rebound. Like, he does make winning plays. It's just they lead directly to points. They don't feel as because we're smooth-brained individuals. Like, hitting 3-pointers directly equals 3 points for the team. But like, those 2 offensive rebounds directly led to 6 points. These blocks take points off the board. That's why he always grades very highly on the advanced analytics, because he just generates a ton of possessions and takes shots off the board for the opposing team. A really, really good player. And if he finds his shot again, then this team's they're not 2024 levels, but I'm comfortable saying that they're better than last year's team because of how good Pritchard is and this depth and activity they have.
Yeah, this is like people that like let's say you break like your hand, right? You start to learn to do things with your other hand, like shower or like brush your teeth, and you get your hand back. Like if Derrick White starts making threes, Celtics are gonna have 2 hands. It's gonna be pretty crazy. Right now they're playing one-handed. They're beating the Sixers with one hand tied behind their back. And if Derrick White starts making threes again, watch out. And I think this was a good step in the right direction because off the top of my head, I think at least one of his makes was kind of important. Like as they were building the lead, I can watch the 2 of them, I guess, as I'm speaking. But him getting the confidence. There was one play where he was in transition and had like a walk-in 3.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
I'm not going to take this. And then he took it anyway. And I was like, why would you do that?
I think he was unsure if someone was coming from behind, potentially. He had one to put them up 18 in the second quarter, which was big. But yeah, hopefully that's a sign of things to come.
Oh, he did a night after the one in the second half.
Yeah, he did.
He hit a step back on Embiid. That's actually like a good confidence shot, honestly, that he got in rhythm, was able to do one. Like that was like, I mean, not a lot at stake, but not an easy shot by any means. Did you see that might do something for his confidence too?
I'm convinced that he needs to just take more unconventional type shots. Like the first 3 that he hit was like they passed it to him as he was like backpedaling. Like how many times does Derrick White miss a few shots and then the most difficult one of them all where he just has no choice but to take it late shot clock? That's the one he hits that gets him going. Just throw the ball like at his toes, like make him just make hard catches and then shoot those ones. I think
don't do that because then Tatum's gonna get jealous. Tatum's going to be like, can I take – like, I'm sure he saw that one-legged Pritchard buzzer beater going, and he was actually, like, a little mad. I was nervous because I was like, he'd be like, now it's my turn.
Nobody thinks Jason Tatum's a worse shooter than Sam LaFrance.
We did on the pregame show. Jack does – we've been doing this – oh, you did the game with us, right? Where you have to draft the like, you're trying to draft statistically – in the top 100 of any category, and you want to be as close to number 100 as possible. So today's was 3-point percentage in the playoffs ever for all time. First guess was Tatum. He was 51.
Is that
35%?
At what time? At what percentage?
35% from 3.
That's great. Sounds good to me. That's considering how many he takes and how hard they are. That's
he's no Aaron Baines. Baines is like 45%.
That's going to be Nemia Queta soon. That did remind me that Jason Tatum today moved into 28th all-time in playoff points scored.
Wow.
And if you're looking at if you're not watching on YouTube, he just tied Russell Westbrook for 28. He's like 20 points behind Manu Ginobili. Basically, he should get to 22. Kevin McHale has 3,182, and Tatum has 3,035. So if the Celtics get to the conference finals, he should move into the 22nd overall. And there's a huge jump after that. Wilt Chamberlain has 3,607. But it's just very cool that Tatum, now we're back, and to just Tatum racking up all these all-time things. I think after last game, he was like the third guy after LeBron and Larry Bird to have a 3,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists before the age of 28 in the playoffs. And I'm like, man, back to just racking up these cool stats, which is fun for everybody.
Guy just dominates. I mean, I can't believe he's back. I can't believe. I know you and Greeny on the Game 3 pod talked about like 42 minutes in a game that was important, and he made two of the biggest shots in the game and late in the game. Like there was no sign of tired legs. Like he didn't look like a guy who's lacking conditioning. Do you think Embiid would have did that today? No. And Embiid would have like tried to spear his defender and throw a shot up and be like, I was trying to shoot, I swear.
I mean, he's not built for the fourth quarter in the playoffs, unfortunately. Last thing, very important. My GOAT, Ron Harper Jr., came into the game late and knocked down an awesome pull-up three. But more importantly, Hugo Gonzalez gets in the game here, runs some a nice action here, sets a back screen for Ron Harper Jr., kind of a fake action, gets the ball in a handoff with Gaza. Gaza slips into the short roll. Of course, Gaza makes it because he makes every shot. And then the next play was beautiful as well. We'll go back here. It's a nice little action. Gaza to Ugo on the cut. Help comes, or Jabari Walker's. I don't know what he's doing. This leaves Max Sugar, the sniper, open in the corner. This had to feel good for Max Sugar. Knocked it down.
Credit to Max Sugar.
Good for Max Sugar. It is funny that like the Celtics bench everybody and they bring in like fucking these demons, Ron Harper Jr. and Hugo Gonzalez, a bunch of guys that I would feel good about if they had to play. Gaza literally played and was good.
Yeah.
Even Banton, I'm like, hey man.
Banton helped them beat the Magic. You were there. You saw it with your own eyes.
Dude, that game's like kind of swinging the playoffs because the Magic just match up really well against the Pistons. They're really big and really physical and can switch everything to make the Pistons offense weird. And the Hawks clearly match up well against the Knicks. If the Celtics don't
somehow match up well against the Cavs.
Apparently. Fuck. And so that game has now flipped several series, and we've got 2-2 series all over the Eastern Conference, and just not this one. So we're the only higher seed to pull off going up 3-1.
Yeah.
Pistons are down 2-1.
Orlando's going to be at least tied.
Yeah. They were the Pistons. Yeah. So that game is looming very, very large. Anyway, Sam LaFrance, tell people what you got coming up in the next 24 hours or so.
All right. Big thanks to you guys for having me. Always love to do it. How about them Celtics? Jack and I will be up in the morning with a new ep breaking down the game. We'll have the full pod on Tuesday morning. We'll be back at the Garden on Tuesday for Game 5, hopefully the last game of this series. The best part about us is it's essentially like we're gambling, like Jack more so than me because he already went to Philly, but he's going to have to go back if they lose, and that sucks. So you guys can all root for us. You can follow me on Twitter. I've been tweeting a lot lately. Twitter's finally respected my game again.
Finally.
Be back. So
we were having I don't know if you know, but we were having like a viral Jason Tatum screws Philly tweet off because you tweeted the clip of that caller, and I tweeted the death taxes and Jason Tatum blasting the 76ers in the ass, both of which tweets had 2,000 plus likes. I think you beat me there. So,
are we the Jays of tweeting about Jason Tatum bludgeoning the 76ers?
We might be. No one's doing it like
blasting their ass.
Blasting their ass, which is a quote or a reference to the Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they talk about getting blasted in the ass by no matter who they voted for in the election coming up. So good way to end it. Good way to end it. But yeah, Sam, been a pleasure as always. Everybody in the chat, love to see you all on a night like this. Celtics up 3-1. Yeah, don't fuck around. Close it out in Game 5, please. But been a pleasure. Till next time, go Celtics.